News and notes. Okay, Brock Purdy in the concussion protocol facing the Bengals. Jalen Hurts is banged up, but he's expected to play. Kyler Murray practiced in full. Do you guys think there's any chance we have Kyler Murray playing this week against Baltimore?
I think from what we saw, the reports were they're aiming for week 10. So either they're just trying to ramp him up and make sure he's good to go, or there is a legitimate chance, I guess. You have to, put it out there. But he did practice in full last week also. So I'm going to guess, why throw him out there against Baltimore? Why not wait until it's a little bit of a softer landing spot? So I think they go on the road next week, and then they come back home to play Atlanta. So that makes more sense. And plus, James Conner's probably back for that as well. So that timing kind of adds up to give him a better piece around him.
All right, P.J. Walker is going to start for Cleveland. So Ryan Tannehill has this high ankle sprain. If he does not play, Will Levis is expected to start, according to a report, but both quarterbacks are expected to play. Speaking of players to avoid, we are avoiding DeAndre Hopkins this week.
Yep.
I would like to, yeah. I mean, look, Levis might be better for him than Tannehill. There's no, I think, way to look at it and say Tannehill has been great for him. So maybe there's a benefit. But if they're shuffling in and out quarterback, did you hear what Vrabel said yesterday?
What did he say?
He said it could be every series. It could be every other series. It could be we're sending one in with a play. I mean, it just sounds like it could be a nightmare. So, yeah, Hopkins does not feel safe at all.
He's got to show off for Arthur Smith. You think you're funny? Watch this.
Yeah, you didn't want to use your quarterback. Well, I'll use two. All right, Daniel Jones still not cleared for contact, so not sure he's going to play this week against the Jets. Running back Raheem Mostert missed practice with an ankle injury, and Ken Walker missed practice with a calf injury. So look, it's Wednesday. These guys didn't leave their games early, but they just missed practice. But see if Jeff Wilson's available, see if Savon Ahmed's available, see if Zach Charbonnet is available. He's available in one of my leagues. Mostert and Walker will be keeping an eye on. Roschon Johnson practiced in full. He's still in the concussion protocol, but trending in the right direction. Are you expecting Roschon Johnson to play this week, guys?
We have not ranked him yet, but it's obviously trending in that direction. So, yes, at this point, you should be expecting him to play. To what degree and what impact he has on Deontay Foreman, that's the $1 million question. But I'm still starting Foreman at this point, even if Roschon plays.
Miles Sanders practiced in full up against Houston this week. Aaron Jones missed practice. He should play, but they are easing him in. Alvin Kamara missed practice with an illness. Zach Moss missed practice for undisclosed reasons. Kareem Hunt, I don't think he practiced, but he is expected to play. Kareem Hunt. All right, wide receiver Tyreek Hill has a hip injury. So we'll keep our fingers crossed on that one. DK Metcalf is expected to play. Tyler Lockett missed practice. Christian Watson practiced in full. So now I do have to make the Gabe Davis, Christian Watson decision. We're going to take that right up until game time. Zay Jones missed practice. Curtis Samuel missed practice. Deebo Samuel missed practice. We're not expecting Deebo to play. Houston wide receiver Robert Woods is not practicing. At tight end, TJ Hawkinson missed practice. Remember, he got beat up a couple times. Very funny moment in that game where Kevin Stefanski was saying, TJ, get down, get down, get down, get down. He finally got down and stopped the clock. But later in the game, he hurt his foot. He missed practice. I'm assuming he'll be fine. Gerald Everett, not expecting him. He missed practice. And Luke Musgrave did not practice. Offensive line notes. The Dolphins are going to be without their left guard, Isaiah Wynn, for a while, maybe for the season. But Connor Williams, their center, was limited after he missed week 7. Laramie Tunsil practiced in full. The Giants were without, a billion starting. It's hard to even know who a starting lineman was for them, but 3 clear starters they did not have last week against Washington. All 3 of them, Andrew Thomas and Evan Neal, their 2 tackles, and center John Michael Schmitz, they were limited, hopefully going to play this week against the Jets. And on defense, Ed Oliver for 2 defensive tackles, questionable for tonight. Ed Oliver for the Bills, Vita Bea for the Bucks. If Ed Oliver doesn't play, would you be more optimistic about Rashad White? Does it matter at all?
I'll go back to what I said yesterday. Dave was talking about him running up the middle. I don't care about that. Like, you're caring about Rashad White and what he does in the passing game. His 2 best games this season have come when he's been involved in the passing game. Last week was one of them. He had 13 carries for 34 yards. He had 6 catches. That's what you need from Rashad White. And I think that's still on the table. The Bills have allowed 4 running backs in the last 4 weeks to catch at least 4 passes. So I think White's not a slam dunk, But if you've been using him, continue to use him this week. And if you need a flex or number 2 running back, I like him better than Javonte. I like him better than Brian Robinson, for example. So he's in that range.
All right, I'm keeping an eye on the Seattle defense. This is one that might be really beat up for their game against Cleveland. They already lost their best edge rusher for the season. And now Bobby Wagner and Jordan Brooks, 2 starting linebackers, were limited in practice. Limited on Wednesday is probably a good sign. They did sign Frank Clark for whatever that's worth. Yeah.
And he's supposed to play.
Pass rusher. He's supposed to play, but how much is he going to play? He's not even with the team yet. The Jets.
But look what they're playing, though.
I know.
PJ Walker's been a disaster. You're down your starting running back, 2 starting running backs, if you want to go that route. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I mean, Seahawks defense still feels like a pretty good play.
Well, if they don't have, they'll probably have Wagner and Brooks. But if they don't, maybe we'd have to have that discussion again. But the Jets are going to get their top corners back, Sauce Gardner and DJ Reed. Green Bay is very beat up on defense. Darnell Savage, their safety, is going on IR. So is Eric Stokes, who's been a backup cornerback for them. Good news, though, Jair Alexander and Devondre Campbell practice, 2 key members of their defense. They get Minnesota this week. Let's see. Tyson Campbell, Jacksonville's cornerback, he was limited in practice. He missed last week's game. Eddie Jackson, Bears safety, same thing. He missed last week, but he was limited. Miami's 2 corners, Jalen Ramsey and Xavier Howard, they were limited in practice. Ramsey hasn't played this year. Howard missed last week's game. Miami was really injured, actually, in that game in Philadelphia. They're hopefully getting a little healthier. And for Baltimore, we'll keep an eye on safety Marcus Williams and linebacker Roquan Smith, 2 very important players for them, especially Smith. They both missed practice. And Giants cornerback Adoree Jackson was limited.